Why most people over 70 feel worse every morning without realizing why. Have you ever woken up and felt like your body just doesn't work the way it used to? Maybe it starts with something simple. Your joints feel stiff, your energy is low, or your stomach feels a little off. You tell yourself it's just aging, that this is normal. But what if I told you some of the discomfort you feel in the morning isn't from aging at all? It's from the way you start your day. Yes, you read that right. The very habits you follow in the first hour after waking up may be silently making you feel older than you are. Worse, these mistakes are common. They're subtle, and most people don't even know they're doing them. The truth is, your morning sets the tone for your entire day, and especially after 70, it becomes more than just routine. It becomes a matter of health, energy, and independence. But here's the good news. Once you learn what these common mistakes are, you can avoid them, and your mornings can start to feel lighter, smoother, and more energizing again. Imagine starting your day not with discomfort, but with clarity, with steadiness in your step, with your body actually feeling supported, not stressed. This video is not about extreme changes, supplements, or fancy gadgets. It's about small adjustments to your current habits, things you can do starting tomorrow morning that can change the way you feel at 7 a.m. and how strong, steady, and clear you feel by noon. Let me give you an example. One of the most common things people do when they wake up is reach for a cup of coffee. Harmless, right? It's part of culture. It's been a tradition for decades. But if that coffee goes into an empty stomach, the damage it may be doing to your body could last all day long. And that's just one of the mistakes we'll talk about. You may be thinking, well, I've been doing this for years. It can't be that bad. And sure, maybe it hasn't caused any serious issues yet. But the body changes with age. What worked at 40 doesn't always work at 70. Your digestion changes. Your joints behave differently. Your sleep is lighter. Your energy takes longer to build. That's just biology. But what you do in the morning can either help your body thrive or leave it struggling to catch up all day long. Take hydration, for example. It seems simple. Everyone knows we should drink water. But did you know that after the age of 70, your body doesn't signal thirst as strongly? Which means by the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And being dehydrated in the morning can affect your mood, your digestion, your balance, even your memory. Still, a lot of people wake up and skip that first glass of water. Some even go straight to coffee, which dehydrates you even more. And they wonder why their energy crashes or their stomach feels off just an hour later. This video is for the 70-year-old who's still sharp in mind, but feels their body moving slower. For the 75-year-old who's independent, but notices more stiffness when they get out of bed. For the person who wants to stay strong and clear and in control of their health, without expensive treatments or overwhelming advice. Because sometimes what you need is a new prescription or a long lecture. Sometimes all you need is a better morning. So stay with me. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through 4 of the most common and overlooked morning mistakes that quietly chip away at your health after 70. You'll learn what they are, how to spot them, and most importantly, how to fix them. These aren't dramatic lifestyle overhauls, just small, powerful tweaks. And even if you're already doing a few things right, you might be surprised by how much better you'll feel when you fix the things you didn't even realize were holding you back. Are you ready? Let's start with the first mistake that almost everyone makes after 70, and why fixing it can be the first step to feeling younger, stronger, and more energized every single day. Mistake 1. Skipping morning hydration and letting your body start the day in survival mode. Let's start with something so basic, so fundamental, that it's often overlooked: hydration. Most people wake up, get out of bed, and the first thing they do is head straight for their coffee. For some, it's a habit that's lasted 40 years. For others, it's what gives them that small burst of energy they need to get going. But what if I told you that skipping water in the morning is one of the most damaging things you can do to your body after 70? See, here's what most people don't realize. Your body wakes up dehydrated. Even if you don't feel thirsty, your system has just spent 6 to 8 hours, sometimes more, without any fluids. That's a long time for a body that runs on water. Your blood is thicker. Your brain is slightly fogged. Your joints have less cushion. And your digestion? It's sluggish too, but it gets even more important with age. When you're younger, your body is better at regulating hydration and sending you strong thirst signals. But as you age, especially past 70, your body doesn't tell you when you need water as clearly. You can be dehydrated and not even feel it. That means you wake up already behind on your body's needs. And without realizing it, you stay behind the entire day. Now, here's where it gets worse. Many people, as soon as they wake up, drink coffee. And while coffee has some benefits, it also acts as a diuretic, which means it pulls even more water out of your body. So not only are you waking up dry, but you're making yourself drier within 15 minutes of waking. It's no wonder that by mid-morning, your energy crashes, your stomach starts acting up, or you feel dizzy and weak when you stand up. Let me introduce you to someone like Helen. She's 76, active, and still loves gardening. But she told me how for months she fell off every morning, dizzy when standing, tired before breakfast, and even a bit anxious. She thought it was just aging. But after a single change, drinking a full glass of water before her coffee, everything shifted. She had more clarity. Her digestion improved. The dizziness? Gone. This is not some miracle trick. It's your body getting what it needs at the moment it needs it the most. Let's look at what water actually does in your body first thing in the morning. It lubricates your joints, which reduces morning stiffness. It activates digestion, so your breakfast gets absorbed better. It helps flush out toxins that build up during sleep. It improves mental clarity and alertness. And it helps stabilize your blood pressure, reducing dizziness or fatigue. Still think it's not a big deal? One study found that even mild dehydration, as little as 1 to 2% loss of body water, can impair memory, attention, and coordination. And remember, older adults are more vulnerable to this because their sense of thirst is weaker. That means if you wait until you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So what should you do instead? Here's a simple, powerful fix. Before you do anything else in the morning, drink a glass of water. Yes, even before your coffee. Keep it on your nightstand. Drink it slowly. Give your body a few minutes, and then go about your routine. That water acts like a wake-up call to every cell in your body. Think of it like putting oil in an engine before starting the car. You wouldn't just turn on a dry engine and expect it to run smoothly. Why expect your body to? Some people like to take it a step further and add a slice of lemon or a pinch of salt for minerals. That's great if you want to go the extra mile. But honestly, plain water is enough to start with, especially if you've never paid much attention to morning hydration. If you're someone who says, I just don't feel thirsty in the morning, here's a gentle truth to that glass and take a few slow sips. Give your body the gift of hydration. It's one of the simplest changes you can make, and it sets the stage for everything else you'll do that day. Mistake 2, eating light breakfast and accidentally starving your aging body. If you're over 70 and still following the old advice of eat light in the morning, thinking that skipping a full breakfast is better for your health, this might be the very thing draining your energy, weakening your bones, and slowing down your brain. Let's get real. Your body at this stage in life needs fuel more than ever. But what do most people over 70 eat for breakfast? A slice of toast, maybe a cup of tea, sometimes just a banana. Sounds healthy, right? Wrong. That's what I call a ghost breakfast. It looks like a meal, feels like a meal, but it leaves your body hungry and undernourished. And the worst part? You might not even realize it. Let me explain. After the age of 70, your metabolism slows down, yes, but your nutritional needs actually go up. You need more protein to preserve muscle. You need more healthy fats to keep your brain sharp. You need fiber to keep your gut moving and complex carbs to give you lasting energy. But most older adults start the day with empty calories or barely any calories at all. Now, think about what happens when you do this daily. You go hours without giving your body the fuel it needs. Your blood sugar dips. Your energy crashes. Your brain fog sets in. You might think it's just aging, but a lot of it is actually undereating, especially in the first half of the day when your body needs energy the most. Let's take Frank, for example. He's 74. He used to be strong, sharp, and full of life. But over the last year, he noticed he felt weak by noon, cranky for no reason, and couldn't focus like before. He thought it was just part of getting older. But when we looked at his routine, we found the issue fast. His breakfast was a piece of toast and a little orange juice. That's it. No protein, no fat, no fiber, and worst of all, no real fuel. When we changed his breakfast to include 2 eggs, half an avocado, a slice of whole grain toast, and a handful of berries, his entire day shifted. Within a week, his energy was back. His mood improved. He wasn't crashing at noon. He even started taking afternoon walks again. That's the power of a real breakfast. And for someone over 70, it's even more important because your body is in preservation mode. You're trying to hold on to your strength, your mobility, your independence. And that requires nutrients, not just calories. Let's talk science for a second. After 70, your body naturally starts to lose muscle mass. It's called sarcopenia, and it's one of the biggest threats to independence in older adults. But guess what slows it down dramatically? Protein at breakfast. Studies show that spreading your protein intake evenly through the day, especially having 25 to 30 grams in the morning, helps preserve muscle, improve strength, and reduce the risk of falls. But here's the problem. Toast and jam? That's barely 3 grams of protein. A banana? Just 1. A muffin? Mostly sugar and fat. So by the time you get to lunch, you're already behind. Now add in blood sugar. If you start your day with simple carbs, white bread, juice, sweetened cereal, your blood sugar spikes, then crashes. That crash? It feels like tiredness, irritability, or even dizziness. But again, most people don't connect it to their light breakfast. They just assume it's part of aging. It's not. And then comes the emotional side. So many older adults grew up in a time when skipping meals or eating small was considered disciplined or healthy. And in your 30s or 40s, maybe that worked. But now, your body needs more care. It's like owning a classic car. You don't put cheap gas in it and expect it to run smoothly. Your body deserves premium fuel now. So what should breakfast look like? Here's a simple guideline. Protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tofu scramble, or a scoop of protein powder in a smoothie. Healthy fats, avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil, or a small spoon of nut butter. Complex carbs, oats, whole grain toast, quinoa, or sweet potato. Fiber and antioxidants, berries, leafy greens, or chia seeds. You don't need a massive plate, just a balanced one. And no, it won't make you gain weight. In fact, studies show that people who eat a hearty, balanced breakfast tend to eat less during the day, have better insulin sensitivity, and maintain healthier weights, especially older adults. So let's break the myth right now. Skipping breakfast or eating light is not protecting your health. It's robbing your body of the strength and clarity it desperately needs. And if you're someone who says, "But I don't feel hungry in the morning," that's another sign something is off. Your body may have adapted to undereating, but that doesn't mean it's thriving. It just means it's surviving. Give it a few weeks of real nutrient-dense breakfast and see how your hunger cues, energy, and mood start to shift. Let's not let something as simple as breakfast be the reason you feel weaker, foggier, or less vibrant than you deserve to. You've spent decades taking care of others. It's time to take care of you. Mistake 3. Trusting your body to tell you what it needs when it has forgotten how to speak. This might sound strange, but one of the most dangerous habits people fall into after 70 is assuming their body will tell them what it needs. I'm not hungry, so I won't eat. I don't feel thirsty, so I must be fine. My muscles aren't sore, so I probably don't need exercise. It sounds logical, right? Listen to your body. Respect your instincts. Follow your natural cues. But here's the harsh truth. Your body, after 70, sometimes forgets how to speak. And if you keep waiting for a loud signal, it might already be too late. Let me explain. As we age, a lot changes inside us. Not just in bones and muscles, but in sensors, receptors, and hormones that send signals to the brain. Hunger cues get duller. Thirst cues get delayed. Pain becomes more subtle. Even the sensation of tiredness changes. So what used to be a loud, "Hey, eat something," in your 30s becomes a barely audible whisper by 75. Let's talk about hydration. Did you know that older adults are far more likely to be dehydrated, even when they don't feel thirsty? Why? Because your thirst mechanism weakens with age. It doesn't fire off until your body is already low on fluids. And dehydration in older people doesn't always show up as dry mouth. Sometimes it shows up as confusion, fatigue, dizziness, or even anxiety. So if you're waiting to feel thirsty before sipping water, you're already behind. Same thing goes with nutrition. Most older adults say this line a lot. I just don't have much appetite these days. And that might seem normal. But guess what? Loss of appetite in older age is not just a natural part of aging. It's also a symptom of nutrient deficiencies, poor digestion, reduced taste sensitivity, or even low-grade inflammation. So if you're not hungry, it could mean your body is already running on empty. Now think about the chain reaction that follows. You don't feel hungry, so you skip meals or nibble on crackers. Your body gets even fewer nutrients. Your muscles get weaker. Your brain gets foggier. You move less. Your metabolism slows down even more. And the cycle repeats until one day a small slip turns into a hospital visit. All because you didn't feel like eating. And this doesn't just affect the body. It affects the mind too. Let me introduce you to Janet. She's 79, bright, warm, independent. But one morning, her daughter noticed she was forgetting words mid-sentence, losing focus, and moving slower. Everyone feared it was the early signs of dementia. But after a full checkup, the doctor discovered something simple and shocking. She was severely low on B12, dehydrated, and wasn't eating enough calories. In other words, her brain fog was caused by undernourishment, not memory loss. And it all happened because Janet didn't feel hungry or thirsty. So she just trusted her body and carried on. Within 2 weeks of proper meals, fluids, and supplements, her clarity returned. Her energy was back. And her daughter said, "It's like I got my mom back." That's the power and the danger of listening to a body that has forgotten how to speak. Now, let's talk about another cue we often trust too much: pain. Many people say, if I'm not in pain, I don't need to stretch or move or exercise. But here's the trap. Pain is not always the first sign of problem in aging bodies. Sometimes, stiffness creeps in silently. Weakness shows up gradually. Balance fades a little more each week. You won't feel it instantly, but it builds until one small misstep turns into a big fall. Waiting for pain before taking action is like waiting for your car engine to start smoking before you change the oil. It's too late by then. So what's the fix? Structure, routine, proactive choices. If you're over 70, you can't afford to wait for the signal. You have to create the signal. Build a lifestyle that supports your body even when it's quiet. That means drink water regularly, even if you're not thirsty. A simple rule: a glass with every meal and one between meals. Eat meals on a schedule, even when appetite is low. Start small, build up slowly, and include nutrients that stimulate appetite, like citrus, herbs, or warm soups. Move your body daily, even gently. Walking, stretching, light strength training. Not because you feel sore, but because you want to stay strong. Talk to your doctor about deficiencies. Check B12, vitamin D, magnesium. These often drop silently in older adults and cause big issues without loud symptoms. The key idea here is simple but powerful. Don't wait for your body to shout. Whisper back to it daily, with care, nourishment, and attention. Because aging gracefully isn't just about listening to your body. It's about learning its new language. And sometimes that language is quiet. But when you learn to speak it, your body listens and responds. Mistake 4: living for survival, not for joy. There's a quiet tragedy that often unfolds in people's lives after 70. They stop living and start simply surviving. Wake up, take your pills, eat something simple, watch TV, maybe go for a walk, talk a little, sleep, repeat. No risks, no wonder, no fire, just the safety of the same routine, day in, day out. Like life has become a hallway you slowly walk through until the end. And it's understandable. By the time you hit your 70s, you've been through a lot. You've lost people. Your body has changed. The world feels faster. You might even feel like you've done enough. But here's the brutal truth. Joy doesn't retire. Passion doesn't expire. And the soul doesn't age. What dies slowly is the spark when you start believing life is just about making it through. I want you to think about something. When you were younger, every week held possibilities. A spontaneous dinner, a road trip, a new hobby, a deep laugh that made your stomach hurt, that little flutter in your chest when you tried something new, that feeling that life was still unfolding, still a mystery. But for so many people over 70, those pages stopped turning. And not because they have to, but because they were told or told themselves that now is the time to settle. You see it in their language. At my age, I can't be doing all that. I'm too old to learn something new. That part of life is behind me. Let the young ones have their fun. But what if that's a lie? What if some most meaningful, fun, crazy, powerful, loving, fulfilling moments of your life could still be ahead? Because here's the thing most people forget. Your brain still craves novelty. Your heart still needs connection. And your spirit still needs a reason to get up with excitement, not just obligation. Let me tell you about a man named William. He was 74, widowed, retired, lived alone in a quiet neighborhood. Most days were just crossword puzzles, lukewarm coffee, and an occasional chat with neighbor. His daughter noticed he had lost a bit of shine. He wasn't sad, just empty. One day, she gifted him a second-hand camera. Nothing fancy, just something to keep him busy. 3 months later, William had an Instagram page with thousands of followers. He would wander around town photographing small moments. A kid eating ice cream, a dog sitting on a bench, a shadow falling just right across a wall. He started talking to strangers, telling their stories, laughing again. And he told his daughter something that hit hard. I didn't know I could still fall in love with something at 74. That is what joy looks like. And it doesn't require money, or travel, or even perfect health. It just requires this one question. What would make me feel alive today? Not what I need to do. Not what does my body allow me to do. Not what will make the day pass. But what will make my soul spark? And the answer can be small. Planting something in the garden. Singing out loud to your favorite old song. Trying to cook something new, even if it's messy. Calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in 15 years. Joining a local class just to laugh with strangers. Writing the story of your life, even if no one reads it but you. Because here's something most people miss. Happiness doesn't always come from peace. Sometimes it comes from just a little chaos, a little curiosity, a little boldness. Yes, your body has limits now. Yes, you may need more rest, more care, more caution. But that's not the same as needing less life. Think of your soul like a fireplace. If you don't keep adding wood, passion, curiosity, surprise, the fire dims. And if you keep saying, I'm too old for that, eventually you'll believe it. But the truth is, the world is still here. It still wants you. It still needs you. Your smile, your stories, your humor, your voice. And joy isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you choose every day, even in tiny moments. So don't just survive. Don't let time trick you into thinking you're done, because if your heart is still beating, life isn't done with you yet. Final thoughts. The clock is ticking, but you're still holding the pen. There's something quiet that happens as we grow older. Not loud, not dramatic, just subtle, like the slow dimming of a light we didn't realize was on. It's the idea that time is no longer ours. That life is no longer ours. That joy, purpose, love, growth are chapters that have already been written. But that is a lie. And maybe the biggest mistake of all is believing it. Because here's the truth. Every single morning you wake up, you're not finished. You're not a side character in someone else's story. You're not just an old person. You're still you, with a mind, a heart, and a voice that matter. Maybe the world doesn't make you feel that way anymore. Maybe you don't see yourself in movies, in songs, in ads. Maybe you feel like the spotlight moved on, and you're just watching the rest from the sidelines. But let me remind you of something you may have forgotten. You are still writing the story. The pen is still in your hand. The pages are still blank. And the ending is not written, not even close. Yes, you've made mistakes. We all do. Some small, some big. But the point of life was never to get through it perfectly. The point was to live it fully. You might have wasted time. You might have hurt someone. You might have said no when you should have said yes. Or said yes when you should have walked away. But those are chapters, not the whole book. They are part of you, but they do not define you. And if you've been sitting quietly with regret in your heart, carrying guilt like it's luggage you can't put down, I need you to hear this. You are still allowed to begin again. Even now, even after 70, even if it feels late, even if the world tells you you're done. Start small if you have to. One honest conversation, one new habit, one curious moment, one day where you choose joy, even when it's easier to stay numb. The world will not always understand you, but you're not living for their applause. You're living for the little fire inside you that refuses to go out, even after all these years. And maybe no one told you this lately, but let me say it now. Clearly, you are still capable of incredible love. You are still worthy of being heard. You are still allowed to take up space. You are still needed in this world. You are still someone's reason to smile, even if you don't know it. So let's not walk toward the end quietly. Let's not dim ourselves just because the years have passed. Let's be bold. Let's be messy. Let's be brave. Let's be wild in small ways. Let's laugh too loud and try things we might fail at, and say things we mean without worrying if they'll be misunderstood. Let's live, because life at 70 plus isn't about waiting to die. It's about choosing to be alive every single day on purpose. You don't need to climb mountains. You don't need to write a book or change the world. But you do owe it to yourself to not go quietly into a life of numbness and routine. You've made it this far. That means you're strong. You're resilient. You've endured storms most people never knew you were walking through. That means you've earned the right to shine now, not shrink. To explore now, not retire from yourself. To feel something deep, real, and beautiful, not just pastime. So here's the final message I'll leave you with. You're not done. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're just getting started in a new chapter with new fire and a deeper kind of strength. Don't waste the time you still have. Use it to live in a way that would make the younger version of you proud and the future version of you grateful. Because when it's all said and done, it won't be the comfort that mattered. It'll be the courage, the laughs, the late night talks, the mistakes you made trying something new, the unexpected friendships, the quiet mornings, the fire in your eyes when you realized, even now, you still matter. So pick up the pen. Write your own ending. Make it bold. Make it full of love. Make it yours.